Hello, creative friends, and welcome to the Stampin' Squad. Today, I have a fun fold card for you that I think you're going to love. We made this card last month at my Stamp Club meeting, and the gals really loved it. So let's make it today. So I've got several pieces here that we will use to put this card together. So let's go through them. Let's talk about what we've got. First, this is a piece of cardstock. This is fresh freesia, and it is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and it's scored in the middle at 4 1/4. Then I have this beautiful designer series paper. Let me show you. It is the Thoughtful Journey 6 by 6 paper. Here it is. Beautiful. I love all those colors. Really soft and pretty. So this piece, let me grab my ruler. This piece is 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And this piece is 6 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And this card really is made for like some scenic paper or panoramic paper. You'll see why as we go along. That's what we have so far. Then I've got 2 pieces, and this is Old Olive. And this piece is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. So we've got 2 of those. Then I have 4 pieces that are 1 5/8 by 4 3/8. So we got 4 of those. Then I have a piece of basic white, and this is 3 inches by 4 1/4. Then I have another piece of the Mossy Meadow, and this one is 1 1/4 inches wide, and it's 8 1/4 inches long. And I scored this in the middle at 4 1/8. All right, you didn't have to do that. You can just fold it in half, but I had my tools here, so I just scored that. And then I've got a couple of scraps of basic white. So let's get started. Actually, let's stamp first. How about that? I am using today the Sweetly Scripted stamp set, and I'm using the Happy Birthday stamp. This is in the new annual catalog. I love this stamp set. And I'm going to use Mossy Meadow ink today. So let me ink up my stamp. And these stamps are really long. They've got just kind of the trailing off of the script writing. And I'm not going to use this whole thing. You're not going to see from end to end on the card that I'm making. You'll see why in just a few minutes. But right now, I'm just going to ink this up. And then let's stamp it on here. Happy birthday. Uh-oh, there's something on my stamp. So I got kind of a ugly little spot there. Let me clean my stamp. A little fuzzy or something on it. So I'm gonna just grab my Simply Chamois and clean that off. And we'll let it dry for a second. While we're waiting to make sure that's good and dry, I'm going to do my other stamp. And this one is, I'm using a stamp that says Sending Love. And I'm trying to remember what stamp set that's from. I don't remember. So it will be in the link down below the video that has all the supplies that I used. You'll see it down in that link. So let me just grab another piece of little scrap of white here. There we go. Now this should be nice and dry at this point. So let's try that again. Much better. Okay. Don't you hate that? When there's some like little fuzzy thing, or I don't know, my house, probably a dog hair, stuck to your stamp. And yeah, that doesn't help. Now I'm going to use a die to cut this out. And this one is from the Nested Essentials dies. So let me grab my mini machine. And we will die cut this. And get it this way. I have to look at it a certain way to be able to get it straight. So that looks pretty good. And I'm going to use a little piece of Post-it note tape. I love using this to keep my dies from shifting around. And so if that's something that you're interested in giving a try, I have a link. I have an Amazon link down in the description if you want to get that. Okay. There we are. And it's sticky, but it's kind of sticky like a Post-it note. You know, it's not too sticky. There we are. I love the way that looks. Just kind of trailing off the edges there. Okay, we can set that aside. And then we had this other one we stamped. I'm going to go ahead and just free cut this out. If you don't have a cut and emboss machine yet, they are 10% off this month. Both the regular size and the mini that you just saw me using. This is, let's see, what are we in? We're in June of 2024. So that special 10% off is going on until the end of the month. Whoops. There we go. It's easier to read when it's right side up. All right, let's put some things together. I've already scored this, so I'm just going to fold and burnish it with my bone folder. And this piece of Designer Series paper, the Thoughtful Journey, is just going to layer right on top of this piece of Mossy Meadow. So this card is a fun fold, but I think it's really fancy because of all the layering that goes into this card. It really makes it pretty. All right, we've got that. And now I'm going to take this piece of Basic White and layer it on the other piece of Mossy Meadow. I love my green glue. I mean, the glue is not green, but the package has green on it because it's so forgiving, because you'll see almost always when I put something down, I don't have it quite straight or centered exactly the way I want it, and I will shift it around a little bit. The glue allows me to do that, so I like that. I think because it is forgiving, that's what I like to say about it. I'm going to start calling it, instead of green glue, I'm going to call it grace glue, because it gives me a lot of grace. All right, this piece, we are going to cut it into 4 pieces, and each piece is going to be 1.5 inches wide. Remember, the width of this was 6 inches. So we'll get 4 equal pieces at 1.5 inches. There we go. And I want to keep them in order here. Just like that. Am I still in the frame? Yes, okay. And now I'm just going to adhere these to these 4 pieces of Mossy Meadow. I did also want to mention, I already told you about the cut and emboss machines, 10% off this month. And also bundles of stamp sets and dies are an additional 10% off. You know, Stampin' Up! Always has bundles at 10% off already, but this month, they're extra 10% off. So stock up, stock up. And it's a great time if you haven't been die cutting until now. You can get some bundles and your die cutting machine on sale. If you need any help with anything, I'm always happy to help you guys. I love getting your messages, your emails. It makes me feel like we are right here together. Okay, last piece. There we are. Now let's put some of these other things together here. So this is, remember, this is my 8 1/4 inch long piece, and I scored it at 4 1/8, so I could just easily fold it in half. Let me grab my bone folder again. Now, I'm gonna lay it back out like this, and I'm gonna fold each half in half. So I'm just gonna bring that right up to the score line and put a little crisp fold there. And the same thing here. We're just gonna bring this up to the score line right in the center. Okay. So there we go, like that. Now I'm going to adhere this to the inside of my card. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna put glue on this end and on this end. And then I'm gonna line up the score line of my card base and the score line in the middle of this, and then stick these ends down, all right? So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and position this how I want it in my card. I'm gonna turn this over, and we're gonna put some glue on here. And then I'm just gonna fold it back. All right, whoops. See what I mean about shifting things around? There we go. So give that a good press. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here on this end. So let's put some glue here. There we go. And then just push that down. Okay. Now let me get my 4 panels over here. All right, do I still have them in order? Yes, okay. And those are gonna go here on the inside of my card. So this is the first one. I am just gonna put glue on the whole thing. And it is going to be centered right here on this section. Okay. There we go. And give it a good press. Now, for the second one, I'm only going to put glue here, all right, so it's not attached on the 2 ends, right? So I'm gonna think about that. Where do I want my glue? Because I'm gonna center this in this section. So that means I just need some glue right here. There we are. So I'm going to make that even top and bottom with my other panel that I've already adhered. And I'm going to center it in this little section. All right, the same with the third one. It's going to go here. So let's put some glue right there. Okay, looking top to bottom. And centering it in this little section. And then the last one, we can put glue on the whole thing. Okay, do I have it even top to bottom? I don't have that one straight, so I'm scooching it around a little bit. Okay. There we go. We've got all of our panels attached. Now, remember we didn't glue down the two ends of that, so when the card is closed, you see what's happening? The card closes like this, and then when your friend opens it, these two panels stand up, and if you display it, it really is beautiful. You can see the whole scene across those four panels. All right, this little sending love, I think I'm going to put it right here. I'm just going to glue it on that panel. So let's put a little of our Grace glue. On that. Let me put it down here so I can get above it and see if I'm kind of straight. Yes, there we go. All right. There we go. So cute. Now, to close like that. This goes on the front. So let's put it on. At the end of the video, I'll show you 3 other cards that I made. And they're all so beautiful with this paper. Okay, I think we're pretty straight. And this, now, so I showed this card to my husband when I first made it, and he looked at it, and he thought it was pretty. He opened it up, he thought that was cool. He's like, where do you write? So I said, you'd have to turn it over and look on the back, because you're gonna write on the back. So one of my creative friends at the Stamp Club meeting said, if you wanna make sure that the person who receives this card knows to look on the back, you put it in the envelope with this facing up. So when they pull it out of the envelope, they see the message first. And then they'll turn the card over and realize what's going on. I thought that was a great suggestion. All right, here we are. Now, let's put this on the front, and I also have some embellishments I want to use here. So I'm just going to put this right here, and I'm just going to glue it. I'm not using dimensionals today because the card is already kind of thick. So I don't want to make it any thicker. See if we're straight. And now I'm going to use these pretty gems. I think they look really nice with it. And this is the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. Let me grab my take your pick tool. And let's see. I'm going to put a large one here. Actually, no. What do I want to do? I'm going to put a large one up here. And then let's put a small one here. There we go. And one more. One more small one. And I'm just going to put, where do I want it? Do you want it down here? Do you want it up here? I think I'll just stick it right there. Okay. Great. There we go. How beautiful is that? These colors are fantastic in this paper. And then they can display it like this and think of you every time they look at it. Your lovely message on the back. There we go. So let me show you these other cards that I made with the paper from the same pack. This one. Gorgeous. This card base is boho blue. Then I have another one with the fresh freesia. This one has the really nice pine tree. So they all kind of have a different feel, right? Depending on which paper you're using. And I just moved that little sending love around. I just put it wherever I felt like it belonged. And now I've got one other one that's a little bit different color combination, a pool party base. And I used a different stamp from that stamp set. This one says Speedy Recovery. And there it is. So well, I can't count. So there's four beautiful cards. Let me know which one is your favorite. In the description below, there is a link that will take you to all the information you need to know about this, all the measurements, the shopping list, all the things. And if you ever need any help, you can leave me a comment, shoot me an email. I'd be very happy to help you. So thank you very much for watching today, and I'll be back soon with another project. All right, bye-bye.